Alright, here's an update on the Samsung R770 robot vacuum, and we've been using this for about a week now and actually are thoroughly impressed by how versatile this little guy is. We've plugged him in with the Samsung Home Connect app into our Alexa ecosystem. A little disappointed that he only has two functions, basically turn him off and turn him on. But that being said, hey, it's a nice touch, and the app does give him chat updates whenever he's stuck on a rug or a corner that he talks to you by sending you a text message in the app. So when you're not home, like when I'm at work, I'm getting all sorts of messages from the robot vacuum when he's hung up on something. But let's give him a whirl. We've actually tucked him in the office here, but I might pick him up and actually move him to a larger area where you can see how I've personified it, but how it works, especially around obstacles and even challenging situations such as stairs. So our wait command is Alexa, turn on robot vacuum.
Okay.
And Alexa has kicked this into gear. So he's wandering around the base here and starting the vacuum. So this guy can sense things such as games and whatnot, stuff on the floor. So we'll see kind of where he goes. Works on hardwood just fine. There's a lot of junk in the office. This vacuum will work better if you more or less pick up some of the stuff off the ground that's going to cause it to get snagged or obstructed. You can see it's making kind of a backward pattern here, going back and forth. Let's actually help it out for a second. We'll go ahead and pause it. So there's buttons actually on here that we can actually change things up. I'm going to pick them up and bring him over. Yeah, he's freaking out a bit. Maybe to a wider space here where we can set him down and see how he navigates around furniture. So we'll go ahead and resume here. He's kind of just in a pathfinding pattern. And what we found out is that, if we let him go while we're gone, by the time we get home, he actually does a good job getting around even the toughest of places, such as underneath the kitchen table furniture here. See how he navigates this. Able to pivot a bit. And one of the cool things about this robot is his ability to edge clean. So it will navigate in tricky situations and try to get all around, including the edges of things, rather than leaving wide borders. So you'll see him run into a wall here, and perhaps you'll also see how it will purposefully get to the edge of a wall and follow the edge of the wall in order to make sure that the edge is clean. As he approaches this obstacle here, let's see what he does. So gently encounters the obstacle, and then probably will sweep around this obstacle rather than avoid it entirely, so that the edges of this area are clean. In this case, it's coming back towards us. not the easiest area to navigate, which is around dining room furniture here. This little guy's doing a good job. And notice how right there, it got to an edge, and it's saying edge, and it actually went up and conformed to that edge. So that's pretty impressive how the vacuum, rather than avoiding edges, will conform to the edge dimensions and get it clean right up to the edge of a wall or a space. See where it's going here. Notice how before ramming into things, the sensors are able to pick up. And it's going to detect that it's kind of running into things here and make its way around. I think it's going to go back. Let's see what it does with the laundry hamper here. Doesn't like that sock either. Figure out how to get that space clean right there. And you can tell the noise of this vacuum. Yeah, it's not silent, but at the same time, it's not any worse off than somebody pushing around a vacuum cleaner. And especially if you program this to operate when you leave the house or when you're not home, this is not too bothersome. You can see where it vacuumed before, so it's pathfinding around this area. You can see that streak all the way down there. And you can see how it remembered it had that edge and how it continued that area there. Here's an obstruction. So is it going to go around that? Let's see. Yeah, it's going to figure out, hey, I'm going to navigate around this area here. It's going to come up, ram the edge of this couch, ram as in gently get to the edge where it's now vacuuming the edge, and it positions itself along this edge to make sure that it cleans all the way to the edges here. Here it's going back again. Gets all the way to the, again, edge. You can see how it's lighting up there. There's a goldfish on the ground there. Let's see if it picks that up. Oh, we just barely missed that. It's going back here. Another edge detection right here. Another turn. See if it picks up that goldfish. We missed out on that goldfish right there. It's not perfect, but it sure does a good job picking up stuff. Let's see on another pass back if it picks it up. I don't know, there's a packet of soy sauce on the ground. Who knows where that came from? So the low profile aspect of this, just because it's not very tall, allows us to also go under our beds, go under our sofa, go under furniture a lot easier. So hard to reach spaces, this is able to navigate. Pick this up and give it another try here. See if we're able to see if it picks it up a little bit. All right. It's somewhere. So one of the questions that people frequently have is, can the robot vacuum here detect stairs, or do we have to use boundaries? So you can tell it, doesn't discriminate against the hardwood over the carpet here. But the sensors, I believe, also have a drop sensor, meaning if it feels that it's encountering a boundary where it's going to drop off an edge and it's not contacting the ground anymore, I believe this can be able to turn around. So one of the things that we can try out right now is to bring this up towards our stairs and see how this performs. So we're going to pause this and bring this back up. Alright, so we're pausing the unit. It looks like it picked up actually a dryer sheet there. Let's bring this up towards our staircase. Let's see what happens when we run this thing right toward the stairs. So, got the stairs over here. And we're gonna run this guy and see how it does with the stairs. So it felt itself going over an edge there, and it turned itself around. See how it does. Again, notice how it conforms to the edge there. It's pretty impressive as it does that. Follow this edge a bit before it runs toward the stairs again, following a pattern that goes just around over the area it was before. So for those of you guys who have questions about whether or not this goes over the stairs, as soon as it feels that drop off with its lower sensor, I believe it turns itself around. Again. So it feels it has a boundary there. It avoids running right off the edge. So that's reassuring that this is equipped well enough to realize that there's a boundary there. See how it handles the office chairs. So one of the things that other reviewers had said, I haven't had a Roomba to compare this against, but how the vacuum seems to be gentler on furniture versus other robot vacuums. And that's certainly true. It seems to be able to more gently ram into things, such that we haven't seen too many scuffs as a result of the robot vacuum. And you can see how it gently avoids these areas, at the same time purposefully trying to make sure it maximizes its area that it is vacuuming. Going over these areas over and over again here before it probably will resume a path close to where it was before, going back and forth. Yep, right here. Probably pull in here, go back towards the stairs here, as it was already here. You can see a little bit of where it's vacuumed. It's now making another line. It looks like it's going to go for the office chairs here a bit. But its pathfinding is pretty interesting, as it does kind of keep pretty good track as to where it's been. And it's able, let's see this tricky navigation over here. It's trying to get around the edge here. It's going to bring itself closer to the wall. Let's see. Slows down. Go to the wall. And edge clean right there. That's pretty impressive how it likes to edge clean like that. Because this shows you how it really tries to creep along the wall edges here. And hopefully this shows how it's going to get right up close to the desk here. As we follow it around. Another edge clean right here, I predict. Yep. EDGE, another edge clean. So you can see how the R770, basically you can kind of place this wherever you want, and it'll go around. Sometimes it will get stuck. Sometimes if it goes over and knocks something over, knocks itself over, gets hung up on something, it's just going to stop and shut down. And I'll send you a text message through your app that something is caught or you need to clear something on its sensor or whatnot. But otherwise, you can let this rove around your house and it will do a decent job vacuuming. The significant other is well pleased by its function as a little maid around the house. Even though we have lots of kids that could otherwise vacuum, the R770 has taken its position in helping us keep the floors rather tidy with less effort than getting the kids actually to push a vacuum around. So, actually a good opportunity is actually entering into the kids' bedroom here. I've got a bunch of stuff on the ground. Let's see how well it takes care of this. So we got this guy actually going in. Oh, he's going to be thorough. Let's see if we can get some of this paper they've left all over the ground here. Going. Alright, finally picking up some of the paper. Yep. Going all the way out there. Oh, looks like something stuck or something. I picked up something. What do we got? Oh, looks like somebody sucked up a bag or something. So, kind of sets off the alarm, sends me a text message. We cleared the obstruction, and it's back on its way. Probably don't want to suck those up. Now, one of the cool things about the robot vacuum here is once it is done vacuuming, just going to go pick up some paper scraps here, is that we can go ahead and send it back to its base. Now, granted we are on a second level here, so let me go ahead and lift this up, get it back to home base. And you can see actually that paper that went up there. And let's show you the last function of getting it back home. Alright, little guy, we're going to pause you, lift you up, get you back to the first floor here. So we won't give it too much of a challenge to get back home. Put them right here and see if we can get them home. So we'll tell our Alexa, Alexa, turn off robot vacuum. So we've issued the command to turn off, and let's see if this guy is going to be able to make it back home. Now, home is actually in the office here, so I think it signals to the receiver where it lives. because it doesn't have cameras, it can't do this on the fly. But this is the returning to sender mode where I think it knows where the base is in proximity, which is right there to the left. It's gently navigating itself back to the base. It's going to turn itself around, aligning with the base, and make its way back to its charging station where it can charge up for another run on another day. There you have it. And it is now back on its base and charging again. So hopefully that was a helpful demonstration of the R770 robot vacuum that Samsung makes, how it's able to navigate and pathfind edge clean, which is pretty cool. Navigate around difficult areas, including stairs, without using barrier strips, using its sensors, its ability to integrate with Alexa through voice control, to turn on, to turn off, to return to base, and a general assessment of how well this cleans, which in this case is good for light duties. As you can see, just with our vacuuming there, we were able to pick up some of the paper pieces, some of the dust in the dust trap here. That can be easily cleaned out. Some of the larger pieces, like, you know, this dryer sheet got hung up in there, as did some you know, a little bag that we had on the ground. So you will have to pick up some larger things, otherwise run the risk of this just shutting down. But for overall picking up and tidying around, this is an excellent vacuum for day-to-day maintenance of your messes, your light duty messes, if you will. And I have been pleasantly surprised at how much I do like this and its features, and how well it actually does work in its autonomous mode. Thanks for watching, and again, this is our hands-on demonstration of the R770 robot vacuum by Samsung.